Hello and welcome to a very special video. My name is Bradley from SCC Private Members. I'm here at Steer Luxury South with Divisional Director Darren. Welcome.
Hi Brad.
And I'm actually here to see if this is really the best body shop in the entire world.
I'd like to think so.
Tell us more about it.
A huge investment on the part of Steer. Luxury being the definitive word. I don't think there's many body shops in the UK would actually look like this. So I'd love you to have a look around and see what we've got to offer. Amazing,
and yeah, definitely feels very, very luxury. I'm sat on these incredible furnitures, the feeling, the look, everything about here feels, you know, 5-star hotel-like. Even the bathrooms. So great attention to detail on that.
Absolutely, attention to detail is everything. You know, our customers demand attention to detail, whether that's in their vehicle, in the building, and I think this is a reflection of what we do.
Absolutely, and some of you might be asking or thinking, why is a car club or a luxury car club teamed up with a body shop partner? Because surely, like me initially when Darren reached out, it's like, oh, isn't insurance just for if you crash your car, and does the insurance company just go and deal with it? But actually knowing you now and seeing your other premises, it's not as simple as that. And actually you take a lot of the weight off the customer from an insurance perspective, but also, you know, if it's not going for insurance, if it's something that people would like to upgrade their car or change their car, tell us more about, the insurance side of things, and also then the other options.
Yeah, predominantly we're insurance led. This is where our private customers have accidents. It goes through their insurance company. But what we do, which is different, is we take the pressure off the customer. So rather than the customer having to make all of the arrangements with the insurers, with courtesy cars, collections, deliveries, recoveries, we do all of it. So it's one call to us. We do the rest for the customer, which is where we're different. And off the back of that, we do a lot of custom work for customers. Once it's in, if there's elements that need refinishing, special adjustments, body kits fit in, we also offer that to the customers as well. So from a ceramic coating right the way through to a full body rebuild, we can cover everything to do with a luxurious supercar.
Obviously, we're very, very blessed to be partnered with Lockton, and they are amazing for how they deal with their customers. But some people with insurance companies, all you ever think about is long holds, will we get the same person, etc., etc. But even from a Lockton customer or from other customers or insurance companies that your customers will work with, you are literally just taking that away, are you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have relationships with most of the major insurers, which means we get shortcuts. So we're not on hold for a long time. So we can handle the claim with the customer directly in one visit generally, or no visit at all. If we're given the correct details, we can then do the rest for the customer. So it saves them a lot of time and a lot of effort, really.
And also you touched on, I had a personal call from a member a long time before I knew you, and he wanted a body kit fitted to his 911 Turbo S, and it was just a case of ringing around, and then I don't know the place we eventually hooked him up with. I mean, the Google reviews were good and it looked okay, but actually being here and the vibe here, this really feels like, this even feels maybe even, dare I say, higher end than a Porsche showroom. It definitely matches it for pound, but it feels really special. So customer arriving here, going to one of the inspection booths, and actually you go around the car, it feels as if they would, the same experience they would get if they went into their their showroom.
Yeah. So being recommended and approved by lots of the luxury brands, Porsche, Bentley, McLaren, we get to go in their showrooms. So we take a lot of cues from what they've done, take their best bits, and we've tried to mould it into this facility so that it's got the look and feel of a main dealer environment with that personal touch as well, because the personal touch is really important to me and Steer, that our customers feel that they're not just being processed, that they're being given a service, they're being looked after, and their asset, their prize asset, is being looked after the same way.
So this is obviously a very exciting place, and you can see that whole journey from start to finish, from when the car arrives to you, sometimes in multiple bits, I would imagine, to then that final piece. But what car would you say that you're the most excited to see roll away, or most excited to see when it was arrived, or when that phone rang and you needed to get that job in? Tell us about something special that you're working on.
Sure. I mean, we see a lot of special cars. I think one that probably springs to mind is a Porsche 918 that we've just recently had in. That really did come in kit form, and seeing the complexity and the engineering of, we've had this car down to its bare tub.
Oh wow.
The engineering is just different level, absolutely amazing. And even our techs looking at this car we're enthused by the build, the quality of that car. So I think that one really stands out. It's in red, Porsche colour, looks amazing, and seeing the finished article from when it came in to when it's completed, I'd love to share some images with you with the customer's permissions in the future, but it looked amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely
sure.
amazing.
And hopefully this is something that we can do, or at least through our members' newsletters, we can share. And if the customer's happy to, we'd love to see that, the start and then the finish, and even some of the behind the scenes stuff you wouldn't normally have the privilege to see. And that's really interesting actually, because you're seeing, I'll go and see a nice car in a showroom or an event and that, you're going to see like how it's made. So yeah, I mean that's only ever positive, right? To see the detail that Porsche have gone into with making that car.
Yeah, we see that with quite a few cars and customers where the engine is mid-engined and the customer actually doesn't see their engine very often. And when we have it out, we invite customers in through the repair process should they want to see. And it's a great experience for a lot of customers because they never see their engine because it's buried deep within the car. They love it. They actually love the build and the interaction with our techs. We encourage people to come and see our techs, talk to the techs, because they're enthusiasts as well as it's their job. It's actually their hobby as well as their job.
Amazing, and I laugh because you don't really want to see your engine, but if you're going to see it, it's pretty cool, isn't it, to be able to see that. And actually, we'll probably cut some B-roll of some of the work that does go on here, because I have had a little sneaky peek, and it's a pretty special place, and not your normal sort of body shop vibe. It feels almost like a factory, but obviously you are doing a factory. And one thing that was pretty clear from the message from when we have talked before is we were talking earlier about a certain person on YouTube that's doing stuff with some cars, and why wasn't that done this way? But you were sort of explaining to me that it has to go back as if it left that production line.
Yeah, absolutely. So we work to manufacturer's method and standard. Whilst most people can repair a car, they don't understand the complexities of the car and the reasons why these electronics do these sort of things. And if you're not very careful with it, you could cause yourself a problem with it. We find we have done work for people where they've had their substandard work carried out and they're having issues, water ingresses and things like where the car's not been sealed correctly or it's not used the right jointing. It's safety.
And what's
ultimately.
And what's that saying? Repair cheap, repair twice. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it might look bright and shiny but when the paint fades and when you're getting water into the car and you're getting electrical problems, the manufacturer's method is there for a reason. Everyone follows it. It maintains the safety of these vehicles. These vehicles are all capable of 200 miles an hour. Yeah. They have to be safe.
And I presume, what you were saying was, you could repair a water-damaged car, and it might work for the next year, couple of years' time, or whatever. But and it might work forever. You literally just don't know. But if you put it back to as it left the factory, that Rolls-Royce or McLaren or Bentley or whoever it was has designed that to last for the lifetime of the car.
Yeah, absolutely. So corrosion, it might be dry. It might look, unless it's been checked, treated, or replaced, you can't be sure. So it might work, but what happens when you start to get corrosion issues 6 months, 8 months, 10 months down the line, and you start getting crazy lights up on the car? This is why water damaged cars really shouldn't be put back together if it's extensive water damage. We see these YouTube videos and a lot of us cringe when we see them because yes, it will roll down the road, but will it be rolling in 2 years' time? We're not sure.
The other day when we were chatting about when I was at Aston Martin London, and we used to use M&A Coachworks, so I actually was kind of trying to, where does steer luxury fit in the world? Are they as good at M&A? And you actually came and said, we just bought them. so that's a really good sign.
So they really did fit in. Yeah. That was the reason why it was a good fit for both parties. We purchased them, and it now gives us great coverage in the London region, alongside our other purchase of Chartwells, which is Derby. So effectively, we've got coverage now from Cornwall to Scotland. So any supercar in the UK can choose to use Steer. We'd love them to. And just a great fit. Great guys, enthusiasts, and just a really natural fit for us.
And how would someone contact you then? Is it, obviously, our members will maybe contact us. They might see your detail in the newsletter. They might just go, SEC associate with Steer, we'll just go through normal channels. Is there any preference, or is there any sort of central hub, or how would someone, just want to find out more, or want to ask for a quote? Where is your normal contact routes?
Internet's the best place for us. You can We can look at the luxury website. We've got our own dedicated website for steer. It gives you the locations, but it gives you one centralised call centre. So you call one number, everything else happens for you.
Obviously, the club and on the world, the club has some really, really beautiful cars, and you quite often see people put like graphics pack with like stickers and stuff on there. And quite often that's because certain manufacturers charge like £6,000 for a stripe or some accident or the shields or whatever brands that is. But I presume that level of detail, because you are painting to manufacturer standard, you could probably put those accents on at maybe, I'm not saying a fraction of the price because it's very time consuming, but a substantial amount less, and it would bring it back to manufacturer standard. For example, if you had a car in that had a centre stripe that cost the owner £15,000 put over his car, you would have to put that back on the car, right? But obviously cars that don't have it on, but they might want it on, you could get that actual paint finish. I presume. Am I going down the right line?
No, absolutely. We can do that. So we can do the tricolor stripe across the top. On the Bentley GTs, the hand-painted lines around the bottom of the spoilers. Okay. Really tricky, thanks Bentley, but we can do it. We can do any customization, modification to the vehicle, enhancement to make it personal. We love doing the personal touches, something that just sets the car away from a standard factory car. Yeah, we love doing that sort of stuff, and the guys love doing it as well. So real attention to detail, high quality, different techniques as well. Carbon repair. Okay. We can do carbon repair, which is quite complex, really? But it makes a huge difference to the car as well.
Yeah, I mean that is carbon is a big deal. And just going back to the we do see people putting graphics on cars, and they don't maybe necessarily like graphics on cars, but you can actually. In my head, it was if you can't get that manufacturer paint finish with a graphic, you're then going to have to put stickers effectively on cars. But it's really cool to know that actually they could put those painted stripes on that vehicle to look as it came and left the factory. And the carbon repair is really interesting because I just assume you just have to replace carbon.
If it's majorly damaged, absolutely you do replace, but lower splitters that bump over a curb have scratch marks in them. We can repair the weave to a certain degree, repaint, and it looks as good as new. We've got some really highly skilled technicians who've been to McLaren factory to learn the techniques, and really highly skilled. Yeah,
I have seen it. I've seen on cars, which is really good to know. So next time I see anybody that has left a horrible carbon scratch, I will say definitely speak to your team, because unlike owners, they might think that you have to replace carbon. So that's really, I guess to a certain degree, but if it's aesthetics that isn't too bad, they can bring it back to as it was when it left the showroom.
Yeah, a set of images emailed across to us, we can advise. Mm-hmm. It's really easy for us to look at an image and give you some advice, whether it can be resprayed, repaired, touched up. We're open for giving advice. It's all part of what we do.
Cool. And the detail of, I think there was something I saw, and I'm not sure it was you or somewhere else, where you can actually look, if a customer does see the process of how panels are removed, what panels have been replaced, because obviously, we only would traditionally see just the body panel, but you see everything underneath the body panel. So is there sort of a way that people can envisage that in their heads, or you can show them on a computer first before it happens?
Yes, so every customer that comes on site, we can do a consultation with them where we'll have the vehicle in the room with them, and our engineering team will go through the construction of the car. They'll research the method from the manufacturer to understand how the car should be repaired, and then they'll load into a system called Autotex, which will show the construction, every nut and bolt, or the position and the repair. So we will then click through the repair and show the customer options through that repair as well. So sometimes it could be more beneficial or cheaper actually to replace, where a customer's thinking, oh, I need to repair it because it'll be cheaper for me. Actually, sometimes it's a better repair and actually works out cheaper to replace. Okay. But we give all of the options in a consultation so that we build the estimate with the customer. Okay. And that's where it's different. So it's more personalised rather than a set of images traditionally sent through to a body shop and an estimate getting sent. We like to go through it, all the repair with the customer. So the customer gets a good understanding of how complex their vehicle is and the importance of having it repaired by a manufacturer-approved repairer.
Yeah, I see. And I think that, there is elements. I mean, we do see people that have had their cars crashed, and there is that thing that will it ever be the same again? And one thing I'm really, really learning from the more we've spoken, got to know each other, yes, it will be the same again. And I guess anything like that is potentially psychological because, you know, it is their pride and joy, it is their car, it will set lap records. But you are bringing that car back to as it left that factory, the same tolerances to the exact micromillimeter, I don't know terminology to that. So you're bringing everything back as that manufacturer, which is one thing that, you know, I'm really confident with you guys, yourselves, you know, seeing the premises, and I can, you know, say to our members and anyone else that owns supercars that Steer will bring that car back to as it left the factory, which is awesome. And you are manufacturer approved from multiple manufacturers as well?
Multiple, yeah. So we really encourage a customer to come in. If they're nervous about will it ever be as good as it was before, we really encourage a customer to come in and look through the build process with us. It could be 6 weeks of repair, but we'd love the customer to come in and be involved and have a look and see what we're doing so they understand. So when they actually leave, they understand that this car is back to being a hand-built special car.
Amazing. And that process, do you log it, like photographs sometimes, or can you log it? Do you log every one? Like, how is it?
We log everything. So every stage of repair is photographed, so we can provide a digital log of everything that's been done to that car. Some of the images, maybe not for every customer would want to see them because it can be a bit daunting to a customer to see it completely stripped down and built back up again. But the enthusiast that wants to see it, absolutely, we can supply that, all of those images. And everything's signed off by each person that's worked on the car as well. So we've got a complete log of everybody that's looked at it, right through from the reception staff to the valeter to the person that's QC'd it at the final sign-off. The QC process is 2 individuals, check the vehicle. Until that's signed off by 2 people, the vehicle never leaves our premises. So high quality every time is what we look for.
And you actually do more than that, because I know you do, because you actually, the 2 people that look at it, they don't know what the other person's looked at, is that right? So it is completely, they both go blind, they don't know what the other person's checked, so you've got a real, you know, there's no hints or anything at all. It is literally, they're both going blind looking at that.
That ensures there's no shortcuts.
Yep.
So they're looking at the job, they're reading what's been repaired on the car, understanding what's been repaired, checking that they've got all of the certification, that the car's had its geometry check and it's all within tolerance, to fit, to finish, to checking the gap. It's done individually each time. Whilst most people think that's a bit time consuming, it is, but it ensures that every car goes out right first time.
As in the club, I think 90-something% of the cars have paint wet protection film or PPF, or ceramic coated, or even both. So the car comes in, front end damage, had PPF on. Do you just send it back out without the PPF? How does it work?
No, we'll reapply PPF. Ideally, we'd like the car to rest for 2 weeks once it's had the paint applied. Just let any solvents come out of the paints to make sure the paint's hardened off fully. Yes, when you drive it away after a day, the paint is hard, but it's still curing. It needs a little bit longer. We see horror stories of PPF being applied too quickly. When it's removed, it removes some of the paint in places. So ideally, we like to hold the car for 2 weeks and then reapply. Ceramic coatings as well, we need a little bit of time in between just to let that paint breathe. But applying ceramic coating and then PPF, the car looks amazing.
Of course, and as I would imagine you keep within the warranty tolerances. And when you're preparing that body panel, if it has been ceramic coated, how far back do you have to remove that coating? Because the stuff's really, really good.
Yeah, so it's a whole panel. So if we're painting the front part of the wing, the whole ceramic coat comes off the whole of the wing, so we can lacquer it and then we reapply it per panel, in line with the guidelines of the ceramic coating.
So we are also partnered with a motorsport company, Nicky Grist, Colin McRae's co-driver, and the eagle-eyed Subaru fan spotted a little Impreza tucked away in that. And I know that is not your normal car, but it's quite cool to see that, you know, you would take on a different project. What's that here for?
We love a project, and that car is one of 2 ever made. So whilst it looks like a run-of-the-mill Impreza from the outside, it's actually not, it's a special car. So that car's going to go through a full restoration, and we'll happily give you images of that car as it goes through its process of having the corrosion resolved on the car, paint correction on it. That car in a few months' time will look absolutely amazing.
Maybe I should get Nicky down to sign it or approve it, and maybe take it for a run and see if it reminds him back of his days.
We've done it. We've had bonnets signed and lacquered in, so it holds a signature as well. It holds a lot of significance. We've done it with Porsche. We've got a Porsche bonnet that's been signed by the Le Mans drivers, and we use that as promotion in some of our businesses. Yeah, we'd love to get ex-motorsport or current motorsport signing.
Amazing. Well, we'll bring that car inside in a second, have a quick look around of maybe a before and after, and come back when it's finished. But maybe, you know, you don't want 300 Subarus done now to be done, but is there a particular car you would love to see here to go through? Is there a particular passion of yours of an 80s hero, 70s hero that maybe one of the members has tucked away that, you know, Darren would personally oversee? Is there anything that you would like to see, or any job too big or too small?
I think anyone that knows me, it's a Porsche 356.
Okay.
Always wanted one, always wanted to resto one. I'm desperate for that car.
We do actually have a member one of those, so I'll possibly put in a call for that. But yeah, that's the point. You know, the Subaru's something very, very different. But you know, whether it's a Porsche or something Ferrari or whatever that you would really want to get into, let's get it back as it should do, as it left the factory, and something that needs a little bit of love that maybe's been tucked away in someone's garage for some years. Thought, actually, I'm going to let these guys do it. And hopefully, from this video and the B-roll, that will really reassure them that this is definitely the right place to bring a job like that. Shall we have a look at the car?
Yes.
Actually, closer up, it definitely looks a bit more, because from the outside you looked at it, when I spotted it in the corner, it looked okay, but actually it's amazing, and you know, it's amazing. Well, you were, you know, saying about having to when you get behind the panels and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, this one suffered, much like most of the cars these days, but such a special car, this one. It's a real sleeper of a car, and we couldn't miss the opportunity of just giving this one back to where it should be.
And it'd be really cool if you can do a car from each generation, like a Porsche next, and then another thing, then another thing. Really cool to sort of to see that, and hopefully we can pull up some members from the club that want to have their car done and brought back up and freshened up and stuff. But can we come back and film this when it's all done?
Absolutely.
We'll see all the pictures of it in build as well, or in repair. That'd be pretty awesome. But huge thank you for today. Hopefully that was enjoyable for everyone to watch. Let's see what the future has to hold. Let's get some events down here. It's really, really cool, but really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man.
No, thanks for coming in.
Thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Cheers, Darren. So I hope you really enjoyed watching that one. They're here at Steer Luxury South. An amazing place. You can see the technology that they're using. It's just that not normal body shop. It's very, very special. They're even taking on a little old Subaru like that, but we really want to see some other cars coming out of the woodwork and what they can offer. But amazing. Let's thank Steer, thank everyone that was involved with it, and we'll catch you on the next one.